Good morning, my friends. Dave Campbell with Dave Campbell Short. I'm going to talk to you this morning about Cain and Abel. And the story is packed with absolute amazing, valuable information, and I'm going to focus on the alphanumeric system. That's what I got out of that story this morning. I've gotten many, many, many things out of it, as you will. But this morning, it occurred to me that Abel, a keeper of the sheep, was, of the two, the one who began to record linguistics and letters. And it occurred to me that God had respect unto his offering, because being a keeper of the sheep, Abel could capture historic information about the lives of his flock. He could write things down. He could share that information then with other people through his writing. Okay? Cain enjoyed numbers, and he was fascinated with numbers, and he brought a portion of his harvest, and God said, I don't really respect your offering because you're focusing on the numbers. And being a crafty guy, Cain thought, well, if you're going to give me the knowledge of numbers and understanding that not or no numbers is going to please God, that understanding justified his reasoning to strike down the brother who could build a story or tell a story through symbols, letters. All right? I don't know if you're tracking with me yet, but this is really kind of fascinating. I hope you are picking it up. So ultimately what you have is a reflection on human nature that definitely is easy to see with people who are focused today on numbers. They want to get their bank account jammed up with lots of numbers. They want it to be really fat with numbers. And once it's fat with numbers, they're good to go. It's hard to till the ground. It's hard to work. So if you've got all the numbers you need in an account, and that's your God, if God was to favor that accounting, then you'd be good to go. So a deception of people who are fascinated with acquiring more for the sake of having more, and this idea that, I can retire and I don't have to work again, I can take a break from this tilling the ground. They tend to be frowned upon people who can give an account through speech or through writing that sets the record straight, that shows that God favors storytelling and people caring for the sheep over the numbering system. So we get the concepts from that story about what to do, what not to do, the value of numbers and the value of not having numbers. And we get the story of a brother overtaking a brother and striking them down and becoming now a lawgiver because he has usurped God's authority by killing his brother, right? But in the progression of the story, we see that Cain, God put a mark on Cain. His name even is an anagram for the word ink. You get incorporated, you get ink and a pen, you get all kinds of things from that. And yet, Lamech is a offspring of Cain. And Lamech is the one who introduced the concept of 7 times 70. If Cain was avenged 7 times, Lamech would be avenged 7 times 70. So we see that Jesus, in his underscoring of the value of use of numbers applied with the rhetoric of storytelling or making a case, a presentation, the first legal case or the first use of words or language to make a case is given by Lamech, and it's reinforced by Jesus. And so you have, what do you have with all this, Dave? Well, what you have is an opportunity to study the Bible in a symbolic way and get a little deeper in your traditional studying and delivering of your teachings so that people can begin to have a discerning spirit. You know, Jesus says that the Spirit would be poured out and the Comforter would come in this time, in the end time. So, taking on the wisdom of the Old Testament is critical to our moving forward into the understanding of how the kingdom of God unfolds. And yet, through our modern day teaching, we are fascinated still by numbers. We are fascinated with having teachers come to our churches and tell everybody how to get rich and to be prosperous. And so we have a dynamic of justification for continuing to allow poverty to happen, to continue to allow making of laws that favor one sect of society over the other. And that's going to come to a stop. So I just wanted to talk about your ability to dig deeper, especially if you're a pastor or a priest, and get involved with presenting doctrines that will help people to see themselves as not only like Abel, but like Cain and like Lamech, who can make a case, but like Jesus, who made the case and said, well, show me a coin. If you want to please God, you're going to have to pay God what is his due. And if you want to please Caesar or the kingdom of the world, the man, you're going to have to pay him his due also. And the fact that they were both sides of the same coin represents our dual state of being. And without our fully mastering our dual state of being, we inhibit ourselves from going on to our deeper dimensions, which is using the numeric system to craft not only the next alphabet that will accelerate knowledge, but then also the result of that knowledge being accelerated, which is building amazing crafts that will help us to not only take care of our planet here, but help us to explore other worlds. So, yeah, I think a little deeper than the average person. And it's not hard to do if you will meditate on the scriptures like you are instructed, all through the Bible. So, meditating on language, meditating on your books is all good. But there's a special message in the King James Bible that, and the use of the language in the King James will help you see the key words and phrases like I do to make these connections and bring about a better doctrine, which I believe I found in the regeneration model through my studies. So there you go.